Okay, so what I'm doing, another gentleman's just fished through here, okay, and so now I'm gonna fish it. It's deep and slow along here, along with large woody debris. And further up, maybe about 150 feet above us, there is a nice riffle coming in, but generally the water is fairly slow. There's a mixture of rainbow, cutthroat whitefish, and then of course various coarse fishes in here as well. There's a fairly deep bank, steep bank from the side here, so it's deep once you get right off the edge. So I'm going to stand back a little bit as I cover here. Right now I just got a hare's ear on with a 3.3 millimeter weight. I'm going to slowly get into the water as quietly as I can. Fortunately, I think between the grass behind me, there's a little bit of a rise right out here in the center of the river, which kind of prevents the fish from seeing me, even though I'm standing in the water. I'm just going to pick along the edges here of the far side. Work my way up, covering the slow water. Now it's still early in the morning, it's about 8:30. There's not a single sign of a hatch on. The water's like a nice 55 degrees. So it's absolutely ideal. No signs of any rises. So I'm actually just starting off with a nymph. This water is very slow moving. At this point, the bottom of the river is primarily like a lot of sand, very fine gravel, just because it is so slow moving. But I certainly expect if there's any bigger fish, they'll be hanging out in this slower water, just as there is no real activity going on right now to draw them up into the faster water. I expect maybe by the afternoon, if there's any good fish, they'll move up further. One thing that I also don't know how well the camera can see me the further I move up, but hey, we'll just see what happens, eh? Let's see. Like I was saying, this run has already been fished by somebody. I'm just hoping to pull anything out. I figure by starting at the bottom down here, I can hopefully pull out any fish down here without spooking anything further up. Generally, the fish aren't going to run too far once hooked, and so far it's very quiet. That's why just ticking along bottom every now and then, so I'm happy with the weight. What I'm not happy with is not hitting anything yet. So yeah. Oh, there we go. Ooh, nice fish. Take And keep it out of the woods. Kind of hit right where I would have expected him to hit, right where there's a tiny little bit of a shelf by the looks of it, where the faster water kind of deflects off of the woody debris. Whoa, nice. Oh, got me in the sticks here. See if I can get them before. Oh yeah, I can work that fish there. There we go. Oh, beautiful fish. I'd say he's a good 15, 16 inches here. And I didn't net it. I don't know why I didn't net it. I think probably just because I was trying to release it from that stick, but hey, is what it is. A smarter man would have netted that fish. It was too tough to net when it was wrapped around that stick though. Anyways, okay, great. One nice fish. Beautiful wild cutthroat. Let's see what else we can find here. That's just on the hare's ear. I'm figuring the water is about 4 feet deep where I am. I'm just fishing a single fly. Here's our nymph with a 3.5 or 3.3 millimeter bead. Fairly light. The water is really, really slow. I'm on 6.5 X tippet. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, nice fish. Looks like just like the other one, probably. Sitting almost in the same spot. That's what you like to see. And to the net. Oh yeah, that'll go about 14 inches, 13, 14 inches, so good 30 plus centimeters. Very nice. Let's see if there's any more out in this area. Keep working it. I think that's just right where the deepest part of this pool starts. It gets deep from about here down for about 50 feet. It's right at the spot where it transitions from kind of 3 feet to 4 feet. It's just ideal for the fish to sit there. Let's see if I can cover it a little bit more out here. Love to see something moving on the dry fly, but I'm not too optimistic at this point. Oops. One thing about standing in the water up to your waist like this, and then having a steep bank behind you with all tall grass, it's like no end of things to hook on your back cast. It's always a good idea to have a quick look at your fly after when you hit something back there, even if it's just grass. That stuff can cut everything. Not let alone it can sure tangle the heck out of things too. Oh yes, here we go. There we go. Untangled. Back to fishing. Okay. Let's see what else we can find in here. Come on, buddies. hoping, as I'm working my way up, it's getting a little bit shallower, and I'm right in the very slack side of the water here. So I'm trying to fish the faster water over there. I'm hoping I can cover things with a lighter nymph here first, and then tackle it with a heavier nymph, get down on the bottom. Oh, was that maybe a hit there? Let's find out. Felt like it was, but I might just been ticking bottom. A little bit more aggressive bottom than usual, right? Come on. Anything down there? So now my fly gets down below me, it's starting to swing just a little bit, it causes it to rise off the bottom. Sometimes that's a really good trigger. Not in that case, but sometimes. So this water is fairly clear. About 4 feet of viz, I would say. I'm just fishing the edge right now of what you'd call the dark water, where you can't quite see the bottom, and then the lighter water, which is just where you can see the bottom. Oop, another good fish here. Come on. Keep that rod angle down low to the side. That really minimizes chance of losing that fish. Man, in the net. By the way, I'm using my Arcay Otter 2.3 weight, 11-foot rod. Thank you, fish. That was great. It's a little bit big for this river at times, because the river does have some overgrown places, but for here it's actually kind of helpful because I got that really tall grass behind me. This allows me to keep my fly line up above it and not get snagged as much, and I can reach out further over the river to where I think the fish are, as opposed to what I can do with a shorter rod. I don't have to quite walk as close or approach as close to the fish because I have this longer rod here. I see a couple mergansers up above me that are looking forward to coming into this spot whenever I leave. I think the fish here have been just a little bit too big for them though. Come on, get a little bit extra drift, come on. So far I've been surprised. I haven't hooked any fish close to the log structure. The fish have all been sitting about, 4 or 5 feet away from the logs. They're actually sitting, well, let's see, the close side of the seam. So I'm in the slack water right now. I don't know if you can quite see where I am, but the slack water right here, and then the bubble line with the fast water is going down there. All the fish I've picked up have just been on this side of that bubble line so far. So, which is where you normally expect them to be. But I would expect to be even more fish to be on that opposite side of the seam of the fast water, because there's also the good woody debris on the other side, right? I mean, there's logs parallel to me and the shoreline running down there. There's a lot of them, and that just seems to offer the best spot for the fish to sit. However, it's also a little bit more difficult to get at. Come on. Is there any more good fish in there hanging around and feeding? Now this river has a mixture of species, like I was saying. There's rainbows, cutties, whitefish are the main ones, because it's a wild fishery for the most part. There is a complete dispersion of distribution of the size. So you can get everything from, fingerlings up to large sea run migratory fish, right? So you expect some small ones and some big ones. And so far I've only found the medium-sized fish, which are the fish in the, let's say 30 to 40 centimeter range, which is fantastic. But I've obviously found what might be a school of them. So this is again another good fish. Doesn't that sounds so painful to say, doesn't it? Oh yeah, just another good fish. Man, these are healthy looking fish. Good. Yeah. All right, yes, you can go home now. Yeah. Bye-bye. Thank you. Back on net. Okay. Slowly work my way a bit up. I think there's still fish where I've been picking those ones off. Now what I want to do actually is check my fly after 3 or 4 good fish like that. Just want to make sure your knots are okay still and all that, because they do put some stress on the leader. So far I've been doing very well with the lighter fly. It's barely hitting the bottom every now and then, so I think these fish are, although not super aggressive, they're aggressive enough, just had a hit there, that they're moving to the fly. I think that was a smaller fish I was hitting, by the way. Which is what I would expect the further I get upstream here, into the slightly faster water, the more smaller fish I'm going to start to find, I think. Come on. I'm just slowly trying to work my way up quietly as I can without disturbing the fish, other than hooking them. I want to disturb the fish, but I want to do so by hooking them. So this is a slightly smaller one here. This is just a probably a 20 centimeter fish, but yeah. Still, beautiful little fish. Back in the water, buddy. That may have been the one that hit me before, I'm not too sure. Unless there's a couple of them sitting in there. How about we find out? What was that about tall grass behind you? Oof. Yeah. Yeah, can we get that out there? There we go. Nothing worse than having no room to back cast. And you want to get it out further when you're nymphing. Another fish. Good around bugs, just about the same size as the other guy. quick to the net. Maybe there'll be some more out here then. All right, thank you. Oof. Boy. I'm working most of my casts quartering upstream is what I'm doing, right? So I'm not casting directly upstream of me. I'm casting at a 45-degree angle maybe or so going up. And then I'm letting it, you know, drift down to me, down past me, roughly like to the same degree. Again, 45 degrees down. So it's giving me a good 50-foot drift. Nothing there. Ooh. Well, so far I can't complain too much about what I've been finding. Come on, fly line. Yes. All right. So far, I've still been working that close edge of the seam. Sorry about that, just ruffling the microphone there a bit. Right down the tail end. Right in the real slack water that time. Okay. So there's actually more fish in here than I thought there would be. There's not normally a very rich river. But I've been surprised at the number of decent sized fish I've hooked into here so far. And of course, some of the water I'm fishing, like the fast water is moving at 1 foot per second, I'd say. You know, that walking speed. But some of the edges I'm fishing, I mean, it's probably only moving a couple of inches per second, which is why you can get away with a slightly lighter fly. Just drifting it through. The fish are taking reasonably solidly. You know, they're not hammering it, but they're just stopping it dead. I don't feel the takes for the most part. I'm just seeing my sighter slow down or stop. See if I can work that far side of the seam a little bit. Risk getting my fly caught up in some of that woody debris. But hey, if you don't take some chances every now and then and put your fly in the dangerous spots, you're not going to get the good fish. And what you will get is the odd snag. Yeah, that one wasn't coming free.
Well, what did we learn today? It was a beautiful spring day, but no hatches were on the surface. Clearly fish were feeding based on the catch rate, but not near the surface. Fish were in the slower water and not in the faster riffle waters at the head of the run, likely due to the lack of an ongoing hatch. Maybe closer to the evening that might change. The fish were more in the deepest part of the run, where there was a bit of a depression. The fish did not seem to be in the woody debris, which was a surprise, but it may have been that they were too deep in there for me to reach them, i.e. they were well protected in a sheltering lie. A lighter fly was more effective than a heavy fly that was dredging the bottom, suggesting that the fish were active and willing to move up to take a food source, or they were sitting mid-level in the water column in the slower water. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.